Have you ever been punched in your motherfucking face? What you say? Oh, you haven't? Alright, wait, bitch. 2480 kid, fucking me. I am here, ho, ice cream, booger, color kiss, Sub-Zero, no, ho, boogers in my clique. We don't fear, ho. I gotta wait, I gotta follow.
PCC Pod, what's going on?
Yo.
It's Zay, man, and it's Billy.
It is Billy. It is I. It is me. It is we.
Yeah, Billy Dahmer, Billy Affleck. Hello, Billy Damon. What they doing, man? Let's go. Let's go.
Billy Dahmer, yo. More like Billy Goat. Hello.
That shit sucks, man.
That was bad, yo.
Yeah, that
Hold
was
on.
really bad. That was really bad. Anyways, Billy, how you feeling today, man? How's your day been?
I'm cool, brother. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to record. We're gonna talk about a lot of things that pertain to movies and TV shows. So like, why wouldn't I be excited? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, the podcast about movies is about to talk about movies. Say you swear to God.
Yo, generational. Honestly, I can't believe it.
Demons. Yo, nobody has ever done this before.
Actually, you know what's crazy? I looked on the internet right before we started this specific pod.
Yeah.
Nobody on the internet is doing this.
This the only pod where you could get two black men perspective about movies and TV shows.
The only one.
The only pod.
It's crazy. Out of 7 billion people in the world, millions of videos on YouTube, bro, we're the only ones.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Every single, and this is a real phenomenon that we seeing. Every single pod that you see that's headlined by a black person, what they got? White co-hosts. What we doing?
Come on, yo.
What we
and
doing?
They don't got a white co-host. They got like some other person of color, but guess what? They're not.
Literally
black.
They're not black.
They're not black.
Tell you that they not black.
They're not.
So
niggas.
listen, if you wanna purebred, blue blood, black American experience, you only getting that on the PCC pod, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Some of that language was a little, you know what I mean? But we landed the message, yo. I think we landed the point.
You think I lost some people with the purebred?
Nah, yeah. Nah, it was getting rough there for a second, but we got back on track, yo. We here. We are the only ones doing this.
Oh God. Yo. Billy, what we talking about today, man?
We're talking about probably the best movie to come out this year.
Oh, brother. You already know. I'm already knowing that we about to have. This is not gonna be an agreeable podcast.
Yo, the best
I'm already
movie
knowing
to come out in 2026, The Rip, starring Matt Damon, starring Ben Affleck.
Yeah, man. I mean, even starring Sasha Cal. Shout out to Sasha Cal. Used to be Supergirl. Now they got her flipping burgers, yo. Yo, respect to Sasha Cal, bro. They got to put her in more stuff. We also got Kyle Chandler is in this. You know what I'm saying? He in the Lantern Show. He was in Friday Night Lights. I like him a lot. He's in this movie, So shout out to him. It's actually a pretty good cast when you look at it. Tiana Taylor. The one girl is Lolo.
My man who voices Invincible. Oh, when you said Shorty
Stephen
who does
Yeun.
Superman, she did do Superman in the Flash movie, right?
Yeah, she was Supergirl. Yeah.
I said Supergirl. Yeah, she a little baddie.
Shorty a little baddie. She my little boo thing. And Shorty got the fatty. Yo, rest in peace, Pop Smoke,
that was
bro.
crazy. So R.I.P. the greatest New York rapper
Rest
ever.
in peace,
Today,
Pop Smoke,
today is all
bro.
about hyperboles, yo. Pop Smoke, the greatest rapper in the world. The Rip, the best movie of 2026, yo.
PCC pod, best pod of all time.
Come on, yo. The only
Stop playing.
podcast, the only podcast that exists ever.
Stop playing.
Everybody else is not a podcast. They want to be a podcast.
God.
We a real podcast.
Oh God, and they hate us because they ain't us. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing, yo. Stop playing.
Come on, talk
Stop
about
playing,
it, yo.
bro. let's get into the rip. All right. This is a movie that came out on Netflix recently, probably like last week, a couple weeks ago. Ben Affleck has been doing a ton of like press for it. He's actually been
Yeah.
getting people to watch it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have heard of this movie. It's a movie starring Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. It's about cops. They have to go in and grab this rip, as they so call it, which is like an amount of money. And the whole film is kind of centered around the aspect of dirty cops, good cops, who's bad, who's good. You don't really know what's gonna happen until
Right.
the third act, where you really figure out what happened. So, how did you feel about this movie overall as you watched it, Bill?
Um, you know, I say it's the best movie of 2026, but we got to put into context that 2026 just started. So
And
not a
also,
lot of
I haven't seen
competition.
28 Years Later, The Bone Temple yet, so I
I
can't really
haven't.
say.
I don't.
I haven't
Did that
seen that
come out in
movie yet.
2026?
Yeah, that just came out last couple days ago, actually.
Uh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that, so I haven't been able to compare it. I haven't. This is honestly the only new movie that I've seen in 2026.
Yeah.
Every other movie I've seen came out before 2026.
What do you
So,
mean you haven't seen Mercy with Chris Pratt?
yo, I actually refuse to watch a movie. I work at the movie theater. As people know, I work at the movie theater,
Yeah.
and one of like the consistent customers came in, and they were like, "Yo, we've been waiting to watch this movie. Oh my god, I'm so excited!" And I was like, "Yo, what movie you watching?" And they were like, "Yo, we're watching Mercy." And I was in
Hey,
my
yeah.
customer service bag. I was in my customer service bag. So I was like, "Oh yeah, Mercy with the AI and everything." And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wow, it's crazy because like we're so close to that like happening in real life. It's actually like really scary." And they were like, "Yeah, right. That's why we want to watch the movie so bad." And I was just like, in the back of my head, I was like, "All right, what we doing? Yeah, all right, customer service,
They had no
customer
clue,
service
did
brain
they?
off."
They had no clue.
I was like, all right, now it's time to walk away because I did my customer service due diligence.
Exactly.
Now
You
I'm
don't have
walking
to
away.
really have a real conversation with these people. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about customer service. I seen a tweet the other day where people was like, customers in like retail, like that come into retail shops, they really believe that they deserve to live. That had me crying. I was like, oh man.
Insane, insane, but so true. Insane, but so
But
true.
yeah, did you like the movie? Like
We talking about talking about Mercy?
no, I'm
Oh,
talking
the
about the rib.
Rib.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
the
got caught
movie.
off
The
guard.
movie
We
we're
got caught,
talking about right now.
caught off guard,
Wait, I
man.
don't even know why I went into that. What? Oh, because I was saying it was the only movie I seen in
Yeah, and I
2026.
had said, "What
That
do you
was
mean you haven't
crazy.
seen Mercy?" You know. Apparently, this
Gotcha,
movie
gotcha,
is a
gotcha.
hoot. It's a banger. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. It's too far. Yeah, go ahead.
um, the Rib. I thought it was cool. Um, Actually, we're gonna get into it later, but I did think it was like a really good second screen movie, which
That's crazy.
I know we
Matt Damon
had
would be
we.
so disrespected by that comment.
I don't think he would.
Nah, I
I
think he
don't
would
think he
hate
would
that.
based off of
I think
like
he
the
would hate
press
that.
run. Based off the press run, bro. But I think it was a good second screen movie. I don't think it was a movie meant for me. Like I asked the older people in my life, did they like it, and they were like, absolutely, they loved it, and I think that's who it was for.
That is their
I think
type
it
of
was,
movie. You know what I'm saying? A
yeah,
movie that you watch on cable and then you turn it on and your grandma's watching
yeah,
it.
like that movie. That movie felt like commercials were supposed to play throughout that film.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
One hundred
one
percent.
second,
Even with like
one second.
the back to the I don't even remember. You
I
were saying
don't
like you
even.
didn't. You were saying you didn't like it or what? What was going on?
Oh no.
No,
So
I
I
mean
thought the
not that
rib
you
was
didn't
like,
like it, but you thought it was cool. Go ahead.
yeah, I thought the rib was a really good second screen movie. I think like older people love this movie. I think it was a perfect movie for them. I think that this movie, realistically, had they played this on cable, like this movie would have had like a bunch of commercials in it. That's the type of movie this was, to me at least.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like a cool, sit down and watch it, not really try to analyze it too much. But me being the person that I am, I have thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I analyzed it and I
Mm,
have critiques. You know what I'm saying? I have positives, but I do have like probably more critiques than the average person would have that's just trying to see the movie and
for
enjoy a
sure,
good time. You know what I mean? So,
for
but
sure.
overall,
Oh,
I thought it was
I wanted
fine.
to
Go ahead.
I wanted to make this point. Before I make this point, yo, shout out to anybody who I have told to watch this pod, whether you're a coworker or you are like a random person, yo, salute to you. But it's funny that you said that because I was talking to somebody about like a show that I'll bring up later,
Yeah,
and halfway through talking to them, I realized like, oh, we watch shows differently. Like me, I like you said, like I want to break it down. I want to like really get into the weeds of things, and for you, it's just like, oh, you're just watching the show for entertainment type shit. You know what I mean?
exactly. Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
which I do think is inherently different between like I guess us specifically, but I don't know, just people who like really love film and TV and like really love breaking down themes and talking about stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, I think that like sometimes it's if movies like for us it's like an actual like thing that we're into. We're interested in movies. We're interested in talking about movies. We're interested in having that conversation after the movie about how the movie made us feel. I tend to find that like and it amazes me every single time that there are people who are not like that and they're interested in other things like maybe they're into like I don't know like skateboarding or like maybe they're into music or literally anything else but like when it comes to movies they just they see the movie and then it's fine. It doesn't really cause them to like discuss or want to
Right.
have discussion or like thoughts on anything. And that just I feel like that's just like is insane to me, but like for
Yeah.
them, it's something that's like totally normal. So again, shout out to those people. Honestly, you probably living a better life than me because what type of
For
nerd
sure.
is locked in on movies like this? No way
Like the
this is like
rip.
conducive to a successful life. No way. But yeah, man, getting back to the rip and how I felt about it personally, I would say I fall along the same lines as you is where I think the rip is like fine. I think it's cool, is all right, but when you really dig into the problems that I have are I think the performances are fine, but the problems that I
Yeah.
have are when you really dig deeper into like the messages and the themes of the movie. It's just something that I don't agree with. Maybe other people agree with the messages and the themes, but I find problems within the
Yeah.
messages and the themes. But I do want to
Speaking
talk about
of
the
messages and
performances
themes,
first. Go ahead.
you want to talk about the performances first?
Yeah. Because I do have
Okay.
that like written down first in terms of like, I thought. Listen, this might be a hot take. I think Matt Damon is a little washed, like slightly. I think he's
Ooh,
slightly washed.
it's
Cause
interesting that you say that before the Odyssey comes out. So this
yeah,
might be something that like you're planting your flag in, you're calling it now. Matt Damon is washed.
slightly. I do think he's slightly washed because I'm watching him in these scenes with
Nah,
Ben
yo,
Affleck.
stand on it, yo. This the pod for hyperboles, yo.
Nah,
Stand on it. Matt Damon is
nah. I
washed.
said I said slightly washed at first. I'm sticking to slightly washed, but I will say that like I'm watching him in these scenes with Ben Affleck, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is running
Is
circles
stealing it?
around Matt Damon right now. Yeah, like, and I thought he was the most interesting character throughout the whole of the film was Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
not Matt Damon, who is supposed to be the main character. It's like a co-lead
You know
kind of
what's
thing, but
funny?
Matt Damon is the main guy. Go ahead.
You know what's funny? I think the reason you think that is because of the type of character he played. I think because of the character Matt Damon played in this movie, it was supposed to like I don't know. how do you explain? It was supposed to not fill up the screen, if that makes sense.
But I've
Like it
seen
wasn't the. I think the character. I don't think the character was ever supposed to steal scenes. I don't, and I think that was part of like. I think they kind of addressed that in the movie, where like in the movie, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. This is the pod for spoilers. Fuck you.
hell
But
yeah.
for anybody who hasn't seen it, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, their partner, their boss, this lady dies in pursuit of like finding corrupt cops and trying to get this the biggest rip of the city out, right? And so she is in a relationship with Ben Affleck, like a sexual relationship with Ben Affleck, but she's like better friends with Matt Damon. But like our introduction to both of these characters were Ben Affleck giving like older white version of Mike Lowry and Matt Damon kind of be like being like this more silent, like go with the flow type of guy. So I truly don't think that I think that was like the juxtaposition of the entire movie where it was like, well, why would she like entrust this like big secret to the nigga who just be chilling? You know what I mean?
But even then, I've seen like this role be played before by someone else where you have like a. I'm gonna compare it a little to John Q. It doesn't go all the way to John Q, but I will compare it to John Q, where you have that same character who's like affected by his children, being in medical debt and stuff like that, and him not having the same money. And Denzel obviously steals scenes in that movie, playing a similar style of character. So I don't really think it's like the character is not meant to steal scenes.
Nah, yo, nah, yo,
I think Ben Affleck is just
nah.
better at acting right now. I think
No,
he's
you
just
can't
better at
compare you.
acting.
I literally don't see the John Q comparison at all. Because even if you don't want to put it on like the character traits or whatever, simply the role that Denzel, like the lines, like John Q had multiple monologues where it was meant for him to like take over the scene. I don't think Matt Damon's character at any point was meant to take over the scene at all. Every time that he had like a moment where it was like, okay, Matt Damon is cooking, there was somebody else in the scene also cooking. Like I truly don't think that any of these scenes that were written were in support of Matt Damon like having a moment. You know what I mean?
That should be more of a like reason to believe that he's slightly watched, because every single scene, like you said, where he's supposed to be cooking, somebody else is cooking. Like my eyes are not strictly on Matt Damon. Even in the end, when he's revealing the twist character, I'm like still like Ben Affleck is
But
putting in a
even in
better
the end,
performance
I
here.
was about to say, even in the end, when he's revealing the twist character, he's within the way that his character is supposed to do that. Like Ben Affleck is supposed to steal that scene because of how his character is. His character is the more like front facing person, is the more I'm gonna be like more assertive. His character is the more laid back. Like I think it's truly just a him playing the character how it's supposed to be played rather than him being washed. Now, I do like the fact that you're saying Matt Damon is washed because I like the fact that like if the Odyssey sucks, we can come back and be like, "Yo, Zay called it." I want that to happen so bad now, even though the Odyssey is one of my most anticipated films. But like, I don't think your reasoning is the reason that I disagree. I truly think like his character, the things that you are saying or a knock against his character, I think that was purposeful. Like I think he was supposed to do that. Like I don't think he was supposed to ever steal a scene. I don't think he was ever supposed to be on screen, and he's like his presence was supposed to be like bigger than the screen. Whereas Ben Affleck's character, I truly think that that was his character. You know what I mean?
I think that's his character because that's his performance. I think that's his that's his performance, like bringing that to the role. That's him as an actor personally doing that. I think that with Matt Damon, you're never, or even with his character not supposedly supposed to be laid back. That doesn't mean that an actor that's laid back can't have like a great performance. I think he was fine, but like when it comes to like compared to like Ben Affleck, it's obvious which one is better. And that's why I'm saying Matt Damon is slightly washed. I don't think it's because of the
Nah,
character. I'm saying like Matt Damon is
I'm not
just
agreeing
not
with
as
you. I'm
good.
not agreeing with your take at all. But I do like I said earlier, planting the flag, Matt Damon is watched. I'm with you 100%. It's just that if somebody pulls me aside and questions me, I'm gonna be like, listen, I don't really know. I'm just here because I'm just here because my brother here, yo. Like that's it, yo.
Yeah. Well, I'm locked in on that take like 1,000,000%. I do think Ben Affleck. Yo, Ben Affleck was in the Odyssey. Oh my God, demon. Um. Anyways, but nah, we could get to. I think we should get to more so the messages and the themes of the movie because I think that's the more probably more interesting argument that where I think that you'll agree with me more. This
Yeah,
movie's whole
what
like
did you feel like the what did you feel like the messages and the themes were?
yeah, I'm gonna get into that. So like this movie's whole like emotional crux is like okay, there are good cops, there are good cops and there are bad cops, and the good cops aren't being paid enough, which is the reason why for 2 acts of the movie you're able to believe that Matt Damon will, actually steal the money. Is because you believe like okay, he has like the medical debt, he has like whatever,
Right.
right? This weird notion that the cops don't get paid enough, but like you look at the cars that they drove up in, it's like God damn, okay, y'all getting paid a little bit. They said,
Right.
but whatever. That's not really the part that I'm most angry at. The part that I really don't like is the fact that they say, okay, good cops, bad cops. What's the solution to there being bad cops? Oh, it can only be solved by the good cops that are in the institution. It can't be solved. It's not really solved by anything else. It's only solved by like, oh, okay, I guess we just have to rely on other cops, which is like that's insane. That's not real. That's not like the reality of things. When you have bad cops, they're protected by other cops. You don't have bad cops and then they're like found doing bad by other cops. If like the rip is like taking place in another reality, it's about something else where you have an authoritative force and some cops are, trying to get other cops up out of there because they're bad. Okay, cool, makes sense. But the rip is based on a true story. So it's like, what are we
Is
doing?
it?
Like I mean, it said inspired by a true story as the movie started.
I missed that
Yeah,
completely.
yeah,
That
that's
is
what it said, and it's
crazy.
like at the end of the film, it's like, okay, how do you get rid of these good cops? I mean, these bad cops in these departments and these things that are watching us. It's like, well, I guess you just have to hope that there's also good cops. It's
That
like,
that
what
is
are
the
we
thing
doing?
that is the thing that pissed me off a little bit was like cuz they did toe this line of like you questioning, well, is Ben Affleck a good cop? Is Matt Damon a good cop? Is he a bad cop? Like where they
Yeah,
kind of played with that the entire film, and I'm not going to lie, finding out that they were like overly good cops kind of like pissed me off a little bit
I
cuz they
thought
had
that
no
was the
reason
worst part of the movie.
Bro, they had no reason to be good cops other than being like committed to being good cops. Like you said, they built up the storyline of Matt Damon being like in debt, needing money. They every other character was like, "Listen, I really need this. I really need this." And even in the end, they kind of like alluded to maybe they took some money or maybe they gave it to the girl or something like that. Like you truly don't know
The girl
specifically
got
because they
money.
don't say
Nah,
it.
I don't think the cops
No,
got
no, no, no,
money.
no. No, no, no. The girl got money because she got a percentage of the load. You
Yeah,
know what
that's what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying?
She got money for sure.
But they alluded to somebody getting an extra amount of money because I'm gonna fuck up the math, but essentially it was like, yo, the original count when they were in the house was like 28 million or something like that. And then when they gave it to the cops, it was like Matt Damon was like, yo, 24,365,000 or whatever. And then when they counted, they were like, oh, down to the T. That's so rare. Da 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 da. And then like everybody gave looks like, ha, yeah, see, down to the T type shit. So it was to me, they alluded to either they themselves took like a 4 million cut and kind of handed it out, or they took a 4 million cut and gave it to the girl because when they said that they gave girl money for getting a percentage of like the rip, the guy was like, yeah, well, it's not really gonna last too long because taxes take it out 50%. So she's not really getting like 4 million. She's really getting like two. So it could the fact that it was like an either or thing just to kind of hold up this idea that they're still good cops kind of fried me a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that them keeping that art. I thought that the first two acts of the movie, even though I have like problems with like its politics, I still thought that that was the most interesting part. To where like, okay, Matt Damon might be a bad cop. That's the most interesting part of the movie. That's where they should have kept it, in my opinion. They should have kept Matt Damon being a bad cop and him actually, taking the money. And then in the end, the climax is what's being built up throughout the movie, the tension that's being built up throughout the movie with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's
And
character.
Matt
I
Damon,
thought that I thought
yeah,
that was going to be the ending of the movie, but then in the end we get this twist villain arc, which is corny and bad because there's no setup with the twist villain. It's just like it's just like, yo, Kyle Chandler, just like yo, just try to be a generic villain for us. We gonna put you on the screen and we gonna make $100 million on Netflix, yo. We're gonna make $100 million on Netflix. It don't even matter how well you play this character. Even though I thought he played like, I'm not saying like I hated his performance. I thought he was fine. I thought he was pretty cool. I liked his like he was kind of like a
I
like a
didn't
like a
I
normal,
didn't like the
I
way
don't
he
know, twist
looked.
villain. Well, I mean that's just how Kyle Chandler looks. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I
That's
didn't
just
like
his
the way he
face.
looked at all. It just he not even his face, bro. His whole vibe, bro. It
Yeah.
felt like he was trying to be young. Like it
Yeah.
just threw me off, bro. It
he
threw me off.
in my opinion, I think he looked a little sickly,
Cause he,
just with
bro,
the
cause
eyes
cause
and
he
the hair.
to me, bro. That's you know what I mean. That's coach.
Yeah,
That's clear eyes, full hearts can't
exactly.
lose. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in the movie he had like highlights. I'm like, yo, what is going on, yo?
Yeah,
Is he
it was a
good?
little it was a little bit of a weird casting, weird choice to have him play that specific character. I'm like, okay, a little weird. But as far as the Rip is concerned, like this third act was like really rough for me personally. It was rough. I thought it got a little goofy at the end when they're like chasing each other, and then Steven Yeun, they're fighting. Steven Yeun gives himself up, and then the other Ben Affleck is fighting Kyle Chandler, and like that fight's really corny at the end when he's talking about like, oh, the good cop or whatever line he says. I thought that could have been in like a Michael Bay movie. I'm like, bro, what am I watching right now? Like that was rough. That was
You
rough.
know what's crazy? If Michael Bay directed this, it probably would have been better. More explosions. Probably
Yeah,
would have made it a little bit
exactly.
better.
Exactly. I immediately thought of that Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson movie. Forget what movie that is. Where
Talking
they
about
all
pain
like,
and gain.
yeah, I immediately thought of that movie. Like I'm like, bro, this
Why?
could have been like I just that scene specifically, I'm like either this could have been in that movie, Pain and Gain, or it could have been in like Transformers. Something like that. But this could have been this easily could have been in those Michael Bay movies. Those
Yeah.
or that Michael Bay verse. They do a Michael Bay cinematic universe. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, all that shit. Yo, stop playing.
Yeah.
Stop playing. But yeah. The ending is really bad for this movie, man. It sucks because I did think that it was going in like an interesting direction where you could have answered like the bad cop, good cop question with like, no, they're just bad cops, and you just gotta figure out a way to deal with it. You know, it
I would
could have
have
had
even
something better
liked
than
it.
that.
I would have liked it to been like a justification of like bad cops a little bit. Like I wish they would have explored that a little bit more to where it's like a lot of times we see cops as this representation of an idea of a badge and like nah, they be going through the same shit. Like sometimes they don't want to be a representation of that idea because that idea is like fucked up. That idea also negatively affects them. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I
Yeah,
think that could have been cool. And then like you said, if it ended with a Ben Affleck Matt Damon face off because earlier in the film they fought each other. And then we
literally.
come to later find out that it was like a fake fight or whatever. But they fought each other and then was broken up. So in the ending, it could have been like, oh, now there's nobody to break this up. Well, I'm either gonna shoot you and kill you, or for some, you know what I'm saying, something to where Matt Damon is the clear villain, or a better twist because they were attempting to twist it would have been like, no, the whole time Matt Damon was the good cop and Ben Affleck was the bad cop because
That would have been fire.
the entire film they were playing on Matt Damon being the bad and Ben Affleck being the good. But then in the film you kind of see Ben Affleck go to the side and text and stuff like that. So then that makes you question, wait, is he bad? Like
Hmm.
they keep playing this back and forth of like different characters that the ending didn't properly represent the back and forth and the build up that they were doing the entire film.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I was thinking about while you were talking is the fact that like you were thinking of like a better way to like empathize and humanize with these characters. But then I'm just like it's very hard to empathize with cops because
True.
they chose the job. Like earlier in the film, Matt Damon's character says, "I hate being a cop." And I immediately
Yeah.
thought like, "Listen, you chose this job. There are like a million other jobs you could have done. There are a million other jobs that you could have done instead of being a cop. It was not your duty. Like you're not. This is not Spider-Man. This is not with great power comes great responsibility. You're a regular guy. You could have chose to do anything, literally anything. You chose to be a cop and put yourself in a line of danger. Now you have to face the consequences with being a cop and being like in that position. And sometimes you don't get
Yeah.
paid as well, but you chose this position. Like I said, you could have done anything else and it would have been more fulfilling. So it's like
Yeah.
with this movie specifically, maybe they could have not had them be cops. Maybe they could have been like,
you
literally anything else. Maybe they could have been anything
you
else
know
and it
what's
would have been
funny?
something that would have been more easy to empathize and sympathize with.
You know what's funny? In the
Yeah.
one of the very first lines that Matt Damon says is like what you said. I hate being a cop, and I just thought of an ending that would have been corny, but would have still been light years better than the ending we got. Like imagine Matt Damon and Ben Affleck had this standoff. Ben Affleck ended up being the evil one, Matt Damon being the good one. They fight. My Matt Damon wins, has to kill Ben Affleck, and then as he's kind of doing the debriefing, he's like, "Yeah, man, I told you I hated being a cop," and it kind of like ends right there. Like that to me, that would have been like really good. I'd have been like, "That's way better than what we got."
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Or listen, we hit him with it Nolan style. You know how Oppenheimer was like just him getting interrogated about building the nuclear bomb and not having guilt about it. What if we have Matt Damon? We start the movie off with Matt Damon getting interrogated and it's just him recalling the events and then like over the course of them asking him question after question after question, we start to figure out that he's actually the bad guy. Even though he's telling it from his perspective, but the more questions that they ask, you know what I'm saying?
Mm. By the time
Come
you get to the end,
on.
you realize, oh, this nigga is making that shit up.
Yeah, he's the worst, but you immediately on his side in the beginning of the movie because one, you're trained. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're trained, but you like Matt Damon. Everybody likes Matt
Yeah,
Damon. I don't know many people that don't. You know what I'm saying? You like
yeah.
Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon rarely plays a villain. I think he's only played a
Exactly.
villain like once.
Yeah, and then it's just like okay. Also on that end, he's telling a story from his perspective, so it's like it's making sense. You will be emotionally connected, and he probably say something, in the middle of the movie about like, oh, I had a kid that was, but that doesn't mean that I do this. I'm still a good cop, whatever you want to say. But they were like, this is like a generic action movie that could have been released in 2007, man. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure. Oh, bro,
Great,
if this
fantastic
movie, if this
propaganda.
movie released, it's not even good propaganda. But if this movie released in like 2007, 2008, people would be talking about this the same way they talk about like The Town or something.
Yeah. I don't know what the town is, but yeah, I agree.
You don't know what The Town is?
I don't know what the town is.
With
I'm sorry.
with Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck. Ben Affliction? No,
Wait a
I don't know
minute.
what the town
You've
is.
never seen this movie? Hold on, bro.
The
Because
town.
now you're
Yo,
making me question if I'm tripping. Hold on.
you just
Yeah, The Town. This came out in 2010. Doug McCrae leads a band of ruthless bank robbers and has no real attachments except for James Renner, who, despite his dangerous temper, is like a brother. Everything changes for Doug when James briefly takes a hostage the bank employee Claire Kesey. This is like a film that like people love. Has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah, I've never seen this movie. I just
That's
looked it
kind
up.
of
I've never
crazy.
seen. That's crazy that Jeremy Renner is in this. Yo, I wish we had an app where we could talk about Jeremy Renner, man. I wish we had an app for that.
And
Anyways, yeah, nah.
wait a minute, wait a minute. What?
I've never seen
What
this
did you want
film.
to get off about Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner created something called the Jeremy Renner app, and that was a reference to that. To where like it
He
was like
created
Twitter.
the Jeremy Renner app.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he
It
didn't,
was like
bro.
Twitter, but just talking about like Jeremy Renner and like everything that I swear to
Is
God,
it
you can
still
look
a
this up
thing?
right now. I don't know
What
if it's
the
still up,
fuck?
but it was real. He did make this. He did do that. That was a real thing.
Why? Was it for like his fans or something?
If there are Jeremy Renner fans out there, yes, it was for that.
If
You know what
there
I'm
are
saying?
Jeremy Renner fans out there, I'm assuming there was a lot. Hold on.
I don't know. I never downloaded the app.
Jeremy.
I
Oh
just
my God,
saw.
yeah. The Jeremy Renner app was a fan-focused mobile platform launched in 2017 for direct interaction with actor Jeremy Renner. Nah, hold on. He was ahead of his time. I was gonna clown him, but he's actually a genius. He's
Yo,
actually a
can you
genius.
imagine? Can you imagine the Beyonce app? Demon.
But that's what no, but that's what I'm saying. Like fuck, like because the whole point of Instagram, the whole point of Twitter, the whole point of all these social medias is for you to engage with the people who will eventually become your fans or to build a fan base. But he was like, no, I want to go direct to consumer. So I'm gonna build an app where you can have conversation. It'll just be like a big group chat. It's similar to what J. Cole did when he did his podcast about his albums. Like, and when you bought the podcast, I don't know if you bought it, but when you bought the podcast for the albums, you also got entered into like this big ass group chat with like everybody else who bought the projects.
And you know nowadays they have the things where you can get a text from artists about
So I'm
the
saying,
upcoming
mass
album
texting
coming up.
for
You know.
sure, bruh. Nah,
Yeah, I
Jeremy
will say
Renner
I respect
ahead
the
of his time, bro.
audacity. I respect the
Oh,
audacity to think that you have a fan base to keep that app afloat.
bro,
Like
hold
love that,
on,
bro.
bro,
I love
hold
that.
on, bro.
I love that
Nah,
from
bro.
Jeremy, man.
Cause right now in my head it go Jeremy Renner, Elon Musk, yo. That's what is going in right now in my head, bro.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't heard about this. I thought it was a pretty
No,
well-known thing. That's why I said that. I was like, wish we had an app where we could talk about Jeremy Renner.
that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yo, live revelation on pod. Where else are you getting this, bro? We talking about the
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner app, man. Stop playing. Stop playing, yo.
They don't give you specific numbers, but they say it was a sizable, significant, and it was a significant, active, sizable, and ultimately chaotic user base before it was shut down in 2019. So it lasted 2 years.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Jeremy Renner, bro. If you listening to this podcast right now, respect, man. Respect. I love your work in all your movies, man. You're a demon. Um, do you have anything else you want to say about the rip?
Yeah, that was the quickest movie review ever. Yo.
Do you have anything else you want to say about the rip?
Anything else I want to say about the rip? Yo, Ben Affleck. Yo, I love you. Respect, yo. Yo, if I ever have the opportunity to meet you, yo, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you need me to do to you, I got you, yo. Don't trip.
Word.
Matt Damon. You know what I'm saying? Same. Ditto. You know what I
Notice how you
mean?
said Ben Affleck first. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Steven Wynn,
Yoon.
amazing actor. Oh, let me. Oh, you said what? You said Yoon?
Steven Yoon. Yeah.
Steven Yoon. My bad. I was gonna be like, doesn't fucking matter, but it does matter. That's your name. I want to
He's listening to the
respect.
pod right now, man. What are you
He's
doing?
listening. He's listening to the pod right now. My bad, bro.
Come on, bro.
Steven Yoon, amazing. Salute to you. Supergirl, can't think of your name. Amazing.
Sasha
Salute
Cal,
to
my
you.
demon.
Sasha Cal, yeah. Other shorty, can't think of her name. Yo,
Don't know her
salute to
name.
you.
Don't know her name.
Yeah. Tiana Taylor. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Keep
Tiana.
working.
Yo, shout out
Keep
to
trying.
Tiana for always playing herself no matter the movie. No
Bro,
matter the
bro,
movie. She's playing
bro.
Tiana Taylor, yo. She don't care. My demon,
She
bro.
don't give a fuck. She don't give a fuck what time period. She don't give a fuck what job she's supposed to be doing. She just playing
Yo,
herself, yo.
she's fired. She's fired for that because like even though she continues to like play on herself, she's like Robert Downey Jr. where she brings that same charisma to every single role, so it's like it's very entertaining to watch with
Nah, I'm
Tiana
gonna shoot
Taylor.
you.
I feel like
Actually, I'm gonna
what?
shoot you. You just compared Tiana Taylor to Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. But I'm only talking about like when he played Tony Stark and then he played Sherlock. I'm like, oh, that's the same character. Like this is the same nigga,
Right.
you know. And I
I
feel
don't
like
think so.
Tiana Taylor. Okay, I feel like with Tiana Taylor,
I disagree.
she's played a very similar character, even to her character in those Tyler Perry movies. I'm like, it's the same character. I
No,
can
for
see this
sure,
being
for
a
sure.
timeline. You know what I'm saying? Again, Tiana Taylor cinematic universe. When we doing it? Come on,
Yo, it's happening. It is happening, bro. But yeah,
let's
nah, I
go, bro.
mean, like you said, good actors, semi good script. But I think that goes into kind of what like Matt Damon was saying. Like Matt Damon was in an interview and he was saying, bro, hey, writing for Netflix, knowing that they're creating second screen movies is inherently different than writing a regular movie. And that is something that people are gonna have to adjust to as far as viewership and as far as writing. So like as much as we can like shit on the movie, call it like an okay movie, like it was purposeful. You know what I'm saying?
I tend to take that like his comments about that Netflix thing is that he was not trying to do that himself, and I don't think this is. I was only saying that because the second screen comments earlier is because I don't think that this is a second screen movie. I do think
You
you
don't think
actually
so?
have to, yeah, I do think you actually have to like
Bro,
pay attention to it.
you
I
can
think like if you miss like maybe 10, 20 minutes
nah.
of the movie, you might be a little lost later on.
Bro, as a nigga who was watching this while scrolling on Twitter, bro, I can I can vouch for the fact that this is like a really good second screen movie.
But he was saying like you have to reiterate the plot and all that
But they
stuff
did
like
that.
4 or 5 times. No, they
They did
didn't,
that,
bruh.
bro.
No, they
Yes, they
didn't.
did
No, they
multiple
didn't.
times.
They just
Nah,
had the plot go. They didn't really have them
no,
reiterate the plot
bro.
consistently.
Yes, they did, bro. You gotta rewatch that movie, bro.
Nah, bro. I'll say the one thing is that they had like maybe character motivations, but even then they only said that one time. And then they said
Bro,
though they had like arguments about like
maybe
stealing
you
the
know what's
money or not
crazy?
stealing it.
Maybe your expectation of what that looks like is different than what it looks like in reality, but they did that. Bro, everything he said in that interview that you have to do with a second screen movie, they 100% did.
Yeah, I disagree. But again, like you
I'm telling
said,
you,
our
I'm telling
expectations
you,
are different.
yeah, you got to rewatch the movie, bro. Because I truly think your version of reiterating the plot and doing all of that is like different than what it actually looks like with a second screen movie. Because The Rip isn't the first second screen movie. Like second screen movies have been this thing for at least 3 or 4 years now, where that's been like a term that has been in the zeitgeist of like talking points. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what you expect when the movie says, "Hey, we're gonna reiterate the plot. We're gonna like constantly remind you what's going on." But The Rip definitely did that.
Yeah, no, I mean so as like it's blatant, like blatantly bad exposition, and I
Yeah,
don't think
no,
that
that's
that
not
was
what
in
they
the.
that's not what they mean when they say that, by the way.
I disagree. I disagree. I think that
That's
is what they
not
mean because
cuz
I've
like
seen
that
some of these
doesn't
bad Netflix movies and shows, and I'm like, bro, they do that.
I think what you're looking at is the bad version. There's a good version. That's why I said this is a great second screen movie. There's a good version of like reiterating plot and like making sure people are like still keeping up an hour into a film. Like there's a good version of that and the Rip did that. Like there's bad versions of that for sure. But the bad version isn't the bar. The bad version is just a bad version.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that. I think all of it is bad versions, and I think that regular exposition is just like if it's told well, it's good. But like the way that he's talking about it, no. I don't think the Rip did that. I don't think the Rip did that. But
So, but why would you talk about it then? What would your theory be as to why he would even come out and say that about the movie that
I
he was
think he's
involved
talking
in.
about that because he's talking about the state of movies today and how people have lower attention spans and they're, on their phone and while they watch Netflix, and Netflix had that come up, not because he put it in his film, because he was
Word.
blatantly talking down on it. I don't think he put that
Got
in
it.
the movie.
You don't think that he was talking down on it because he was like made to do it? You
No.
don't think he was talking about the differences between making a movie for like a studio and making a movie for Netflix because he had just got done making a movie for Netflix and he read all of the notes that they were giving him? You don't think
And
that
he
was
responded to that with, "I'm not doing that. That's stupid."
right,
That's what he did.
right.
I don't think he did that.
Sure. Sure he did that. Sure.
Bro, you think Matt Damon and Ben Affleck don't have like control over their movie to where they could say, "I'm not doing that. I don't care about your."
I think they have control, but I do think that if you're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar corporation and they tell you, "Hey, this is how we're structuring movies," you adhere a little bit. You try
No.
to you do your best to adhere a little bit, and then after the fact, you do an interview where you shit on it. Like that seems like a very like that seems like a very realistic version of that. To be like, okay, well, I have to like, I'm not gonna succeed in everything, but I will do certain things to make the studio like get off of me a little bit because nobody wants to constantly have notes on stuff. Eventually, you're gonna be like, fuck, all right, cool. Either you're gonna stand firm on certain things, but even when you stand firm on things, you can't stand firm on everything. At a certain point, they don't give a fuck if you're Matt Damon or Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is frying me. But like my thing with that is like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck doing their movie, they can bring their movie to anybody. Like they could finish it and then bring it to Paramount or bring it to Disney Plus or bring it to HBO Max. They could bring it to any other streaming service, but they are with Netflix. So Netflix has to take that
Did
seriously.
Did they
You know what I'm
say?
saying?
Did they in any of both of their when both of them went on the press run? Did they mention anything close to the fact that they had this movie written before they went to Netflix?
What does that matter? That doesn't mean they didn't
Because
have the idea in their head.
I don't think they wrote this movie and then brought it to Netflix. I think Netflix was like, "Hey, we want you to do a movie," and then they did it, which I think is inherently different. So unless they said it, which I'm open to them saying that they had this movie written and then they brought it to Netflix, and I can be wrong, but I truly think that Netflix was like, "Hey, bro, we want to make a movie with y'all." Da 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 da. Well, like, let's workshop some ideas.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck being the people that they are, they're the draw. Like Netflix is not the draw here, so they get most of the power. If it was like a random guy that's making a movie with Netflix, okay, now yes, they have to listen to
As much
Netflix. They
as
have to do
but
what
as
they
much
do,
as
but
Ben
not Matt
Affleck,
Damon and Ben Affleck.
bro, as much as Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are a draw, 100%. Just I talked to people, they was I talked to people and they were like, "Oh, you talking about that Ben Affleck Matt Damon movie? Like that means something. When they're paired together, that 100% means something that has historical cachet. 1,000%. I am not arguing with you on that. But Netflix is Netflix. Netflix's ego is bigger than big, bro. Like I truly don't think they give a fuck about Ben Affleck or Matt Damon because they've had plenty of movies with unknown niggas that have become like pop culture talking points. The Rip, no one is talking about. Literally, The Rip exists only to exist on a Netflix top 10 and to keep people on that app for another hour. Like that's it. Like nobody on the internet is talking about this. This isn't making any like headlines as far as like talking points or pop culture or anything. So I truly don't think they give a fuck about a Matt Damon and a Ben Affleck.
Well, I mean, they don't give a that's past tense. You know what I'm saying? That's after the fact. Before the fact, when you approach Matt Damon and Ben Affleck to do a movie, you don't approach Matt Damon and Ben Affleck to do a movie to then micromanage them. You give them the movie and then you say, "Okay, bring it back to us," and now we're putting it on
But
our streaming service.
the studio's gonna Netflix's thing is micro like that's Netflix. They're the biggest platform of movies and stuff like that. They're gonna micromanage. They're gonna give you notes. They're gonna do X, Y, Z. Like that's just a studio's job. And if the studio's business practice is these are the level of movies that we are focused on. This is the research that we've done, and this is what works. We are gonna give you notes that say, hey, do your best to fit within this framework. And they're not gonna say it like that, like, oh, please, Ben Affleck, do your best to fit within this framework. But they're gonna give them notes to say fit within this framework. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are gonna give pushback, and they're gonna meet not in the middle. Somebody's gonna give more than they take, and but eventually it's going to be a second screen movie. Like that's gonna happen. And you don't think that with all of the notes that they gave, with them clearly seceding, this is clearly a second screen movie. They clearly were like, "Fuck it." On some level, they were like, "You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna give you what you want." You don't think that after that experience with Netflix, that Matt Damon wouldn't like go out there and be like, "Actually, I had a problem with that." Like literally the entire press run, people online. The only thing I heard about people online saying for Matt Damon during this entire press run was like, "Hey, somebody needs to tell Matt Damon to stop talking." Like I was literally gonna ask you who had a better press run, Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck was just sitting there vibing. He
Easily
was the
Ben.
cool guy. He easily Ben. You know why? Because he was just being the cool guy. He was selling the movie. Matt Damon was over here just making headlines for the worst talking points and then making headlines for being like, yeah, second screen movies actually suck. This is what Netflix is doing, da 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 da. Like to me, that reads of somebody who was like upset, probably won't work with Netflix that much in the future unless it's like, fuck it, let me just get a quick check. Like that's what that reads to me.
Yeah, nah, I think that that's not the thing that they gave Netflix, or they was like, okay, Netflix, we'll give you this and y'all give us that. I don't think that's the thing that they gave Netflix. What I think they gave Netflix is the whole like, okay, we're gonna make a B market movie about cops, and that's gonna be the draw. I think that's what they were like. Okay, Netflix was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they gave Netflix, not the writing
I don't
aspect of it,
think
where they're gonna be like, oh,
I don't think you
this is the
I
plot,
don't
this is the
think these
plot, this is the
niggas went
plot,
in
like
there.
45 times. No.
I don't think that this, bro. I don't think they went in there at all and said we're gonna make a B cop movie. I think they truly thought they were gonna make a great film. I think that they thought Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, we're the shit. We make good films. I truly think they thought that. And then obviously it didn't come true because this film is like a mid movie. I don't think they went into it hoping to make a mid movie. I think they made a mid movie because it's Netflix's fault for forcing them within the second screen film box. I think
Wait. I
they
don't
made
mean like mid movie as in the movie's not good. I mean like mid market, like B movie, like fine movie that's not like a blockbuster. That's what I mean by mid movie. Not like the rating, like it's 3 stars out of 5. Like not like that.
got it. My bad.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Nah. It's cool. Yo, listen. That's why you come to the PCC pod, man.
That's why you come to the PCC pod. Is
That's
crazy.
why you come to the PCC pod, bro. Best podcast of all time. You know what's crazy? We're having all these conversations. We've never been in a room with Netflix or any of these people to know how this shit works.
at all.
Never. We're making
We're
predictions
guessing.
based on
We're
you know what I'm saying?
we're guessing off of vibes.
You know what I'm saying? We have no credibility, man. Zero
At all.
credibility
Don't
at
listen.
all.
Don't listen to us, yo. For entertainment purposes only, yo.
Oh God, we are not researchers. You know what I'm saying? This is not a fact. This is just guesses, educated wishes. To be honest with you,
Educated wishes is crazy.
um, yeah, man. I think The Rip is like a cool like 2.5 out of 5 star movie. Show it to actually. Let's do like the actual rating system. I'm gonna give it personally. I would give The Rip like a 5 out of 10. What about you?
Yeah, I was gonna go five. Five
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah, yo, cool 5. Yo, I put this movie on my Letterboxd earlier today. You know what I'm saying? I put it at 2.5
Oh,
stars.
shout out the Letterbox, yo.
Yo, shout out to Letterboxd. I
Yo,
remember for
Izzy on the
years.
Letterbox, yo.
I remember for years, bro. I didn't like download Letterboxd because I thought that was like
Yeah,
I was like once I download Letterboxd, it's over. Like I'm easily top snob. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Top snob. But I download Letterboxd and I'm figuring out it's what you make it. You know, I'm having a fun time
yeah.
with Letterboxd. I'm having a fun time logging these movies. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, it's a cool app, man. It is like kind of nerdy, like nerd film type app, but
Yeah.
it's a cool app. I fuck with it.
Do you think Letterboxd, how do I say this? What do you think the pros and cons of Letterboxd are?
Got you. Pros, you can keep all the movies that you watched in a certain like place, like not in like your notes where it's like unorganized, but like in the letterbox it says you watched this movie and you thought this about this movie. That's very like important when you're comparing like one movie that you felt good about, maybe not great about, and you're comparing it to other movies that you felt good about, not great about. That's very nice to have. What I would say the
Yeah.
cons of letterbox are is that it's not really much of a discussion type app. Like you do have reviews and
Mm,
stuff like that, but people take those they screenshot the reviews and then they post the reviews on Twitter and they talk about the views and the discussion on
off
Twitter.
app.
Yeah, they don't talk
Right.
about that on Letterboxd. Like you can see like reviews and stuff like that. I mean, I think you can comment, but it's not really for discussion. It's more so for logging movies and logging your thoughts on the movies. And I think that it would be
Mm,
a better app if it was like just no, we're talking about movies. Maybe yeah. Does that
right.
make sense?
No, no, no. That 100% makes sense. I was
Yeah.
asking the pros and cons because I was gonna ask a follow up question of like, do you think that Letterboxd? I don't know. So when I think of Letterboxd, I think the initial intention of Letterboxd was to give people a space to review, give their thoughts on movies, and kind of like create this opportunity for the regular person to
Hmm.
be a critic. And I think like historically we've been moving more and more and more towards like the line between professional and regular person having like a voice that matters is being blurred constantly. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
If you have
almost
a
doesn't
couple hundred
exist.
thousand followers on Twitter, all of a sudden your opinion matters.
You're an expert. Yeah, your opinion matters. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Letterboxd has done that for movie critiques. You know what I'm saying? And movie
Yeah.
reviews and stuff like that. And I was wondering if you think that that has hurt how people talked about movies or has that helped how people talk about movies?
I think it's always important to discuss how you feel about a movie with someone else because that always like it helps it can only help like your critique and your conversation getting the words
Yeah.
out, getting to talk through that and getting and bouncing that off of someone else. That part can only help. The part where it's like detrimental is the other aspect that you were talking about, where anybody's opinion is really regarded as like, oh, we should take this opinion serious simply because this person has a little bit more clout on social media than this other person. Their opinion now
Yeah.
matters more. I think that part is the crazy part because you have these people who don't really watch movies like that, have no credentials in any type of movie making film aspect, and we're taking their opinion very very seriously, and now that affects like the movies that you watch, that affects like your opinion on
Right.
that movie just because that person had an opinion that, and it's not credible, it's not a credible opinion, and then you go and watch the film and you have a totally different opinion on it and you realize this person is actually kind of stupid. They're dumb. They're dumb. They don't know how to watch movies, or they weren't trying to
Right.
watch the movies, or maybe they had their phone open. Maybe it's a second screen
Yeah.
movie. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's like that. That's what you find out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the fact that it's not a place for discussion and more of a place for logging, I don't know. I feel like that is hurting how we view movies. Like I'm interested in what your thoughts are on like do you think the movie going experience was better when people had less of a voice, you know what I mean? Or do you think that the movie going experience is better now that you get to see like people's real-time opinions on it?
I think that that all depends on how serious you take these people's opinions. I am a person that likes discussion. I like talking through it with people. So seeing discussion on like recent movies that I watched on the internet can help me sometimes, just get
Yeah.
through my thoughts of the movie and stuff like that. But I don't take their opinion so serious to the point where like that changes my opinion on the film. Like that makes it seem
Right.
not like that makes it feel like oh okay, I don't like this movie anymore because this person tweeted this or this person gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. I talk through it with other people and that helps my feelings, but it doesn't like
Right.
change my feelings. A lot of people they see a movie, really like the movie, and then they see like a tweet on Twitter that says that, oh nah, that movie was terrible, and now they're like, man, I guess that movie was terrible. I guess I didn't like the movie. That's insane. I think you have to
Yeah.
kill yourself. I think genuinely you have to take a whatever kind of gun, put it to your temple and pull the trigger
Pull it
immediately, please,
immediately.
and put it on camera for us to watch.
Go on Facebook Live and do it. Actually.
Oh my god,
But
yo,
no,
that
I'm just interested because I'm like, I'm not a Letterbox guy,
yeah,
but clearly I give a fuck about movies and making my opinion known, or like we wouldn't have post credit clarity. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
like I still have the level of like what do you call it, smugness, that the people on
snob,
like
top
Letterbox,
snob,
yeah, snobbiness of being like, well, my opinion matters,
yeah.
and this is what I think about this movie because
Yeah, they all talk in
I
this
have
weird
a
way on Twitter
voice.
too, like they're that smart and they're that like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're
Yeah,
so high up. Like
yeah.
that'd be frying me a little bit. It's
I don't know.
specifically
Yeah, I
like
don't.
that white class in LA too, like that white valley girl kind of like, you know what I mean? Like
This is
nasty.
what I thought about the film. This is how I
Yeah.
thought about it, and I really think that the theme here wasn't properly done because I took one class in film
Yeah,
school
buddy,
and
kill yourself, buddy. Kill yourself. Not gonna lie. Like, come on.
no, I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, I just wanted the letterbox rundown real quick.
Yeah, no, Letterboxd is a cool app, man. It's a cool app, and it is what you make it, like I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
Type
I'm doing
shit.
right now. I'm having fun with it. You know, I'm looking
Yeah.
back at some of my older reviews, films that I gave 5 stars. I probably wouldn't give those films 5 stars
Five
right
stars
now,
today. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I gave
yeah.
it 5 stars then, so I kind of gotta listen.
Stand on it. You gotta
Oh
stand on
God,
it.
I gotta stand on. I gotta
Yeah.
stand on
I
what I
don't know.
did.
Yeah. Make sure y'all follow Zay on Letterboxd. You might see Billy Holick on there soon. Yeah.
Ooh, seeing Billy Holiday. Let's see what I gave. Oh, I gave Sound of Metal 5 stars. I'm a demon. I'm
It's a good
special.
movie.
It's a great movie. Anyways, yo, yo, there's certain people. I'm gonna just say this one last thing. There's certain people who are listening to this podcast who hate this film. I gave Pop Star Never Stop in 5 stars. Suck my dick.
Yeah, that's a bro.
Suck my dick.
Oh, that is such bro. Get out of here, bro. This nigga loves that film. By the way, that's like
It's
his favorite film.
so, bruh. It is me to a T, bruh. That film is like it's like before being ironic and before being meta and like being a joke was like a thing. That film was it for me. You know what I'm saying? And
It's
then like
such
it
a,
became
it, but
so popular now. But it was
it's
before its
such a
time.
terrible white boy movie, bro.
It's fantastic, bro.
It's so
It's
white boy humor
fantastic.
coded, bro. It's terrible, bro. Oh my
It's
god. And it's
fantastic,
not
bro.
even cool white boy humor. It's not like Will Ferrell white boy humor. It's like fucking young nigga white boy humor. Bro. It's the
It's
fucking
so
worst,
fire. But again, that all falls into the fact that like, do you like Andy Samberg? Do you not like Andy Samberg? And I fuck with
I actually
Andy.
don't like Andy's. I actually
I
don't like
fuck with
Andy.
Andy. So I don't know. Sounds like a skiller shit.
Only thing I liked him. Only thing I liked him in was like Brooklyn 99.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I haven't watched that show. I haven't
Crazy.
watched that show. I literally only know Andy Samberg for Lonely Island and Pop Star Never Stopping, which I saw that movie in theaters with my older sister. I'm pretty sure. Crazy movie to take your 12-year-old little brother to go see.
Is it? I don't think there's like nudity in it or anything.
There
Is
is.
there?
There's like a scene with like just titties and dicks.
Bro,
There's titties and
bro,
dicks all over it.
you remember the movie The Dictator?
Yeah.
I seen that when I was like had to be like 12. When I was like really good friends with like the pastor's kid
Hmm.
of the church that I went to, and me, him, his older brother, and his father, the pastor, went to go see this movie. He had no idea what it was about, and he like fell asleep during the movie. But that was the craziest theater experience because on one hand I'm like watching this insane movie, but then on the other hand I'm worried because I'm like, if this nigga wakes up at any point, there's not a single scene where if he wakes up and sees the movie that he's not gonna be like, what the fuck is on the screen? So like, I was genuinely afraid of like, bro, I hope this nigga does not just wake up right now of all times, and that happened during the entire film.
Did y'all like convince him like we have to go see this movie, or was it just like
No,
what
but
was
it
it?
was it
How did
was
y'all go
easy to
see
just
that?
be like, because me and him, we always went to the movies together, like always.
Okay.
So it was easy to just be like, oh, okay, hey, bro, new movie out, can we go? And it was like an easy yes. Like we never had any. Clearly, we never had any like um, trouble getting into like the movies or whatever. You know what I mean? So
hmm Yo, shout out to the Dictator, man. I've never seen that movie actually, so maybe I
it's
need to
it's
watch
it's
it and then I
probably
could come back next week.
nah, bro. Bro. It's the worst movie ever, bro.
It's not a good
Like
movie.
I
It's not a good
tried,
film.
I tried to rewatch. It's only the worst movie ever, because it is like extremely racist. Like
Oh
you've don't mess with the Zohan, right?
no.
God damn, bro, what is going on?
Listen, you have to remember when these movies were coming out, I was very young. You know what I'm saying? Pop star Never
Bro,
Stop, Never Stopping is my The
stop,
Dictator.
stop mentioning that, stop. It's not,
It's a good
please,
film. It's a good
please
film.
stop mentioning the entire name of the film whenever you
Yo,
mention that
Never
film, bro.
Stop,
That is
Never Stopping.
overly frying me, bro. But nah, bro. I've named 3 movies that you just haven't seen. First of all, You Don't Mess with the Zohan with Adam Sandler is a classic.
I've heard.
The Dictator is what it is, and The Town is a classic. And you haven't seen all 3 of those films, which is crazy.
Again, you gotta remember, I was like 3 years old when those
Nah,
came
I feel
out.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Got no clue about what's going on. If it wasn't Spider Man, I didn't care. Feel me?
I didn't care. First of all, you weren't 3 when no, you weren't 3 when they came out. Yeah,
I could have been. You don't know.
I don't know.
I could be 18.
Nah, you're not. Yo, you good? Yo, you good?
I could be a fresh 18-year-old. Just turned 18 yesterday.
Yo, are you okay? I I do want to let you know there will be another technical difficulty thing. I love doing those.
Look
I
at
remember I
gay.
did that for the one battle after another job. Bringing it back.
Let's go. Technical difficulties.
So what was about to do? Currently watching, Zay.
Yeah, Billy. What you want me to go first? Or you want to go first? Which I feel like you're
You know what I'm
excited. You're hype.
saying? You know what I mean?
I have
You
a
know what I'm
couple of
saying?
different things that I want to cover, and you have something very specific you want to cover. So I think we should
Dude,
actually do
bruh.
you first.
Got it. I'm here, bro. So what I have been currently watching is arguably the greatest show to ever touch TV.
Yo, cook.
Is, if anybody's out there wondering, I have been watching Sex in the City. It
Meow, meow, meow,
is.
meow.
I do want to say this is my first time watching this, so I have no like expectations,
And for more
no
context, I've seen
understanding.
the whole series.
He has. I have no understanding of like what the show is, what it's about. I just know it's about sex and the city. And
Mm.
so like so far I'm having one of the greatest times ever watching the show.
What episode are you on?
I just finished season 1 episode 5. So I'm
Cool,
5
cool.
episodes
So,
in.
what are your
And
impressions of like the style and everything that's going on?
I got you. I'm gonna get into that, but I want to tell them why I'm only on episode 5. Like I want to be further, but I kind of been like holding myself back just so that I don't have a lot to talk about on the pod.
So you don't
You know what
blow
I'm
your
saying? Like
load
I'm
on one pod.
yeah, because
You
it's
want to edge
like
us. You want to edge us.
yeah, no, bro. Each one of these episodes, They're like 20 minutes, but each one of these episodes deserves a 3-hour conversation. Well, audio.
Mm.
It's
Cook.
like it is so jam packed with just like the conversations and the cultural um critique and stuff like that. Like it's amazing. And you were gonna say, what was the question that you were gonna ask? Because I didn't want to get away from that.
No, I was like, what is your what are your first impressions of like the style of the show, the way that
I
it's
actually
like? Because I was
really,
talking about this with somebody else. It's like a time capsule. You know, it's
it
like
is,
peering
bro.
back into like that feeling of the 2000s and actually 1999. I think the first season came out. So
Yeah, I think it came out 98. But 98 into 2000 is 2000 culture, whatever. Because I was about to say,
yeah,
it's not like a distinctly 90s show. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
anytime that we get nostalgic about 90s, there's like certain aesthetics and certain things that we reach back to that kind of builds this idea of what the 90s are. And then you watch TV of that time period and you realize like, it's kind of not the way that we're nostalgic for it for. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't kind of look like
yeah,
that. Like this show is really cool and it is a time capsule. There's moments in the show where you're like, "Oh, that is very much a pre-internet, pre-iPhone type of situation." Like
yeah,
there's so many times where they'll call each other on their house phones or something like that, and just that
yeah,
idea alone, like that is something that I'm 27, so there is a period in my life where I have dealt with like a house phone, so I understand what that is. I'm not like totally out of touch of what house phones are, but to see that be like a part of a plot, you know what I'm saying, is so
hmm,
crazy to see them go through this thing of like being invited to a party, showing up to the address and being surprised at what type of party it is, who's there, is crazy because in today's time, part of the conversation would have been like, yo, who all is there? You're texting on the way, you're trying to figure out the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just so many things that we do now because of the access that we have to information that just isn't available then, and so it creates these plot devices and these storylines that just wouldn't happen now. You know what I'm saying? Like I compared Sex in the City with the cultural critique and the way that it like is viewing cultural critique through a woman, through women's lenses. I compared that to like Insecure and Girlfriends, and Girlfriends is more closely related because it came out in a similar time, but Insecure is like 20 years later, and
yeah,
to have a show 20 years later still keep the same kind of model of cultural critique through a woman's lens is super interesting. You know what I'm saying? And I think that speaks more to, and this is probably one of the things on our bingo cards at this point, but I do think it speaks to like patriarchy as a whole. Because like
oh brother,
the meta, the meta of, because the Sex and the City meta, really, when you're watching it, you understand like how they sold the show. And I wasn't there for this, but how they sold the show, I'm sure was, oh my God, this is a show that is starring women about women having conversations that you don't normally get to hear women have. And it is crazy that even
mm,
20 years later that we still re-rock that same meta. Like that meta doesn't lose. Like that meta is the reason like a show like Horrible Decisions is as popular as it is. You know what I'm saying? To where like Horrible Decisions at its core is exactly what Carrie is doing in Sex and the City. It's having a blog of my sex life, my friend's sex life, and presenting it in this way that is both entertaining and educational. You know what I'm saying? And Horrible Decisions, they're fucking millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Same with Insecure. Sex and the City is this cultural critique through the lens of women. Insecure re-rocked that same thing and is one of the best shows ever. You know what I'm saying? So I find it so interesting to exist within this time capsule and to understand that like we truly haven't changed. And I think that's the biggest thing that happens when you look back at things. Like if you're really into history, if you're really into just like looking back at old media, you come to realize that people have been going through the same thing over and over and over again. The only thing that changes is the language and the specific area and like the technology available at the time. Like the things that Carrie is going through is the same thing that we're going through in 2026, and the things that Carrie was going through in 1998 is the same thing that they were going to in like 1920. It's just the setting has changed, the time has changed, and the language has changed, but the experiences are the same. And I find that so interesting when I watch the show.
Yeah, Sex in the City is really cool because I think it harkens back to that deep inside, that deep desire that we feel, like as if like in elementary school and middle school when you're going to the cafeteria and you wonder what the girls are talking about on the other side of
Right.
the table. It's like that weird like locker room kind of gossip that is like shown for the whole world to see. And
And
I think it's also really cool because Sex in the City is based on like the writers, the people that wrote that show. Sex in the City is like based on either parts of themselves or parts of people that they know, which makes it feel very real. And it makes it feel like the questions that they're asking, the question that they're posing to the characters in the show, I could go ask that question out on the street and get similar answers that Sex in the City is providing with the different characters. So I think that's probably the best part of Sex in the City. But I think that first season, that's probably what that is. In later seasons, it changes to something a little bit different as they find their voice. But
right.
yeah, god damn. Did your computer turn off again?
Yeah, did I sound different?
Yeah, you sound, golly, using my ears crazy. Pause.
Yeah, bro. I had to switch over to the phone. But yeah, bro, I think bro, even the first episode. So the first episode of Sex in the City, it it dealt with red pill men. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to have a show in 1998 like talk about like red pill men, and they didn't say red pill obviously because the language wasn't there, but all of them were essentially red pill men. And to see the evolution of that idea in 2026, where you have somebody like an Andrew Tate, you have somebody like a Sneeko or a Fresh and Fit, to know that these are like character types and archetypes that existed even back then. And like I said earlier, like history constantly repeats itself, so you know it existed in like the 20s and things of that nature. But yeah, like the first episode dealt with like red pill men. One of the episodes dealt with being an older woman, being an older woman messing with a younger male. And I feel like media normally, and this is why I say like patriarchy is involved, because most media will tell you about the younger man messing with the older woman in their perspective. And I really loved how, because the show is centered around all these women in their 30s who are successful doing their thing, it was forced to attack that subject from the woman's perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the fire thing, well, I'm not even gonna say the fire thing, but the funny thing about like, the men being the same is like the only difference now is that they're able to exploit other men's fears and then make money off that exploitation and make money
Right.
off the engagement that they receive for like talking about, oh, you fear this, and like preying on that rage and that anger, for not being accepted. That's the only difference. I don't think back then they're really making money off it as much as they can now and do now.
I think
So
maybe back then they were viewed as like, oh, pickup artist. So it's like, oh, buy my little pickup artist book and stuff like that. But it was very insulated. And because of like the evolution of technology, because of the evolution of the internet, we've been able to like create this widespread ideology. And red pill has become a mainstream um way that we describe like a certain ideology. You know what I'm saying? Whereas back in
yeah,
the 90s, it wouldn't have had a name like red pill, it wouldn't have had uh public facing figures that are making millions of dollars like an Andrew Tate, like a Sneeko. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So like I said, like I love this show not only because of the storylines, not only because of the individual characters and what they're going through, but like you said earlier, it is this time capsule, and it does kind of put things into a perspective of just like, man, this shit is like, this is crazy, bro. We don't change. Like as much as we do, we don't change, bro. And I think it's crazy. But I think Carrie is such an interesting character. I think Samantha is such an interesting character. I think the whole friend group is such an interesting dynamic. The
you
way
know
that they
who's the
deal with
most
Ben.
interesting character to me? Maybe
Who?
not the most like, oh, I'd hang out with that character, but the most interesting character to me is Charlotte, because I think
Which one?
that
Which one is Charlotte again?
Charlotte is the one that's like more uptight. She's not Miranda. Miranda has like the low cut. Charlotte has like a bob.
She's the one with the she's the one with like the that wears the glasses and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I like Charlotte a
Yeah.
lot because I think that she speaks to, and this is going back to the patriarchy thing that you were talking about. I think Charlotte's personality and her character speaks to like the struggle that women have under patriarchy while trying to like fulfill that role and trying to
For
be in that role, and then
sure.
still realizing that like just because you fulfill the role of patriarchy doesn't mean that you'll be
Bro,
like successful or fulfilled in life.
in the first 5 episodes, right? Her character is exactly how you described, and what she's going through right now is that like, hey, I want marriage. Marriage is something that I'm yearning for, but even like with her yearning for it, she still struggles with finding like this person that she can call like a husband because of exactly what you said. She yearns to exist within the patriarchal roles, but like has trouble doing that because of just where society is at that time and then who she is as an individual. Like she has a lot of times she does have like these unrealistic expectations. There's this one time where she went on a date and they were in a china shop and he was like, yeah, I really love like the French china right here, and she walked away and then Carrie's voiceover comes and she's like, oh yeah, she had a problem with him liking the French china because how could she ever date a man that likes French china when she loves like Japanese china or some shit like that? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
Yeah.
it's like, bro, it's like, well, that's your issue right there. It's like you found the person who enjoys China, but you're splitting hairs so much because of one of your own expectations, of the expectations you think exist. And she's just such an interesting character. I think you mentioned her earlier, the girl with the low cut. She's such an interesting character. Within the first
Miranda,
5 episodes, yeah, Miranda. Within the first 5 episodes,
my demon.
she fakes a lesbian relationship in order to get the ear of her boss because they go through the entire episode is basically about
I
like
remember that. That was crazy.
the differences between like a single person and somebody who is in a relationship and how people in relationships view single people as almost like a threat because you as a single person you exist to kind of break this relationship up, so everything you do is an attack on this relationship, and then vice versa, a single person views a relationship as like, oh, you're throwing expectations on me, you're doing XYZ, you're excluding me from things because you feel this way. It was such an interesting episode, but her character specifically worked at this firm and she was like high up in the firm, but she wanted to make partner. And there was always this disconnect until one of her coworkers tried to set her up with a woman because they were trying to like figure out if she was gay or not. And so she went along with it. And the moment that she went along with it, she was invited to the boss's after party. She was getting to talk to him about making partner. And she seemingly was being successful in that, all because she like faked a relationship with a woman. And in the episode, I thought was so interesting. They were like, yeah, like it's not the fact that you're in a relationship with a woman, but it's the fact that they were able to finally figure you out according to them. They're like,
Mm.
oh, okay. Because you being a single woman, you being attractive, you being as like forward presenting as you are is a threat. And they don't want that around them, even if they think that you're interesting. But because you're a woman, they can't have you around their relationship because you are going to be seen as a threat to a relationship. Which I thought, like, again, you don't have these conversations outside of having this piece of media to kind of force these conversations. Like like I said it earlier, each one of these episodes could be a 5 hour talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
About
yeah.
just relationship dynamics and how people view it this way or how people view it that way. And that to me is what makes this show so great. The fact that it came out so long ago, but it's still culturally relevant. It's still able to spark conversations in the way that it is. Like it, yeah. This is probably one of the greatest
You
shows of
know,
all
I'm gonna
time.
expand my take. Actually, I'm gonna expand my take, and I the way I'm gonna do that with is that I said that Charlotte represents a very like specific kind of woman trying to like really make herself and fulfill the roles in patriarchy of like a nuclear family and stuff like that. But I think that all of these women, Charlotte, Miranda, Carrie, and Samantha, they all represent a path that you can take under like patriarchal capitalism for women, which is with Samantha, you can either fully rebel and you can fully like, okay, I'm not gonna take that role. I'm gonna try to, not be exactly what they want me to be. But even still with that, like it because it's not coming from because it's not like something that actually is fulfilling, it's just rebelling against the system that it is. It's like Samantha, like her whole arc over the whole of the show is just like trying to find like herself and her individualism past like the sex and stuff like that. With
Yeah.
Carrie, she I ain't gonna lie, I can't really say too much about Carrie. She's just like the worst person of all time. I low key
Bro,
gotta skip
she
past.
bro,
She's
she
actually a
is
bad person
oh,
and
she's
stupid.
all over the place, which I think is perfect because she's like this blogger, because she's this like cultural anthropologist almost, like she almost has to be a terrible person.
Yeah,
She almost has to be like one of the worst people in the show. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And then like Miranda is like another path that you can take as a woman to where you're like, okay, I'm gonna have standards for myself. I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna be like Charlotte to where I have too many boundaries, but I'm also not gonna be like Samantha where I'm letting anybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing anything. I'm going
Right.
full rebellion. And that's why I think that and I'm excited to I'm excited to talk about this for when you get to the ending, and I'm glad that we're recording this because in my opinion Miranda gets the best ending. Obviously I'm not going to spoil that for you, but
Yeah.
she does get the best ending out of all of them, and I think it's because like she truly is like while she doesn't like the patriarchy, while she doesn't like all these things, she's still like finding herself through it and not just rebelling just to rebel. I think Samantha is just like she's just fucking just to, you know what I'm saying, she's just doing it to do it. Feel me? It's not really like any much like meaning behind it besides the fact that she has some things that she has to figure out with herself.
I was about
So
to say she's
yeah,
her character is like running away from these expectations. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly,
Constantly. It's
exactly.
running away from the expectations of who she should be at her age. It's running away from the expectations of who a woman should be within this society. And because she's running away from those expectations, she finds herself doing it in a sexual way where it's like, yo, I'm all about just who I'm connected to sexually. But she could have easily have done that in a different way. Like you said, like each one of these women is kind of like while they yearn for the roles, they are actively running away, which is why they are who they are within the concept of the show, and why, like, what's her name, Carrie, is able to like bounce ideas off of them because while they're all living distinctly different lives, they still have that common thread of yearning for these roles, but also rejecting them in the same breath.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. Sex in the City is a fantastic show. I'm glad that you started
Amazing.
it, man. I'm really glad that you started it. And since you started Sex in the City, I might go back and I might finish my watching of Girlfriends just so we can like compare the two shows.
For
So
sure.
yeah, 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 yeah. Fantastic show. Can't wait till you get to season 2 where Carrie is I'm saying she's the worst person of all time now. Season 2, she genuinely becomes like the show's villain. And it's funny
Right.
to watch. It's funny to watch from a main character perspective. But yeah, Billy, that was a great. Is that all you're watching or what? You only watching Sex and the
That
City?
in the beauty, you know what I'm
I don't want to talk about that. The beauty sucks, man.
saying?
I don't want to talk about that, bro. Can
The
we can we
beauty.
can we skip that?
For
Let's skip
sure,
that.
for sure. Let's get
Yeah,
into what
let's
you're currently watching.
let's skip that, bro. That show is terrible. Oh my god! Didn't the guy that made? I feel like the guy that made The Beauty is the guy that made the show with Kim Kardashian in it, where
Yeah,
she was
Ryan
trying.
Murphy. Ryan
Yeah,
Murphy
same
played.
guy.
Yeah, same guy. American Horror Story. All of that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That guy is not a real person. I'll just
Not a real
leave it at
person.
that.
It's crazy.
Let's just leave it at that. Zay, what are you currently watching? Oh man, thanks for asking. There are a lot of things that I'm currently watching. There,
Are
there's,
there?
there's actually, yeah, there's actually one thing that unfortunately, the season is over, and I'm no longer currently watching it. Percy Jackson and the
Mm,
Olympians season 2. The finale just came out, man. I
yeah,
finished the show and I'm sitting there like, nah, that's a good show that they got there, man. That's a good show. Like that's genuinely like a good show. I think the first season it was a little bit rocky. It had its ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? The last 2 episodes are good, but the season 2 it started well and it never lost its momentum every single episode. And I'm really
okay,
proud of them. I'm really proud of them for like continuing to like bring that show through and like really work on it. And then
yeah,
the cast got better as actors. You know what I'm saying? They worked on their craft. Unlike another show, they worked on it. They got better. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So I was really excited to see the finale of Percy Jackson. I think it was really good. I think it leaves, some interesting things. They did skip some things in the book, but I'm not like a book purist where I want them
yeah,
to do every single thing. Like it's fine. I don't care. Plus, Rick Riordan is working on the show. He's very hands on with the show. He's locked in. He's locked
yeah,
in. He's been with the casting. He's like, oh nah, that's Annabeth, or like, oh that's Percy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So yeah, he's really locked in. So I'm not too worried about that from a story aspect. I just am very excited for season 3, and I can't wait for season 3, man.
Yeah, season three is supposed to come out this year,
Exactly, which is fire.
which is
We're getting
crazy.
that's fire. You don't understand how
Crazy.
fire that is after
Yeah,
being
that's like
fans of
unheard
shows
of.
that get like 2-3 years in
Yeah.
between. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
In
they
between
really trying to take
seasons.
advantage of them being like younger looking now, which I think is
Exactly.
hilarious.
Yeah, which is crazy because if you go from season 1 to season 2, the nigga that plays Percy,
Yeah.
you could tell, bro. Like that
You
nigga
can
grew up
tell.
immediately. That nigga grew up
Nah,
immediately. There
facts.
was no waiting, bro. So it's like it's funny, and even in like the little clip that they showed for season 3, I'm like, bro, this nigga look older. That's
Yeah, he ages so
crazy.
fast.
That's crazy, bro. Niggas be
Puberty,
growing,
yo.
bro. Niggas be growing, man. That shit is
Nah, facts.
crazy.
I haven't finished Percy Jackson only because I just haven't had time,
Mhm.
not because I've like lost interest. So I am excited to like go back in, finish it, and then get ready for season three.
Yeah, man. I'm hype. We got a. It's a lot of black in this show. We got a black girl playing Thalia. We got a, what I'm saying,
Is she
black
black?
girl Annabeth. Yeah, she's
Is she
black.
like
She for sure black.
person of color?
Nah, she for sure black. She for sure black. She got a
Okay.
crazy jawline, but she's black.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
side note. Side note. We do kind of have to end this earlier because I'm on my phone. Power's out. Phone about to die.
Oh,
Uh,
oh yeah,
so because I know you wanted to like talk about like the news and stuff like that, but
yeah.
also when we both leave, it doesn't stop the recording. So you gotta log in back in as me to like go in and like physically stop the recording,
God
like
damn,
on your PC.
damn. Storm frying us. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately,
Okay. Go ahead and make sure you know what I'm saying. Send me that login, yo. Send me that
you didn't
login.
remember the login. What the fuck, bro?
Or maybe I have the login and I just need to. Or it's probably if I just log in to Riverside, because I have the Riverside app.
No, I'm saying on your PC though. It won't work on that
Oh, all right, bet.
because it wouldn't let me in the recording unless it does right now, which will be interesting. But we'll figure it out.
But all right, yeah. Nah, we're let's. Yeah, man. Percy Jackson was good. Billy is only allowing me 2 more sentences. I'm being held under, what I'm saying,
I
by
am, yeah,
force. I'm
by
being held by
force.
force to end the podcast right now. Two more things that I want to say. Invincible trailer was cool. Hype for that season.
Yeah.
And last thing I want to say is Masters of the Universe looks kind of fun, and kill me if you think it doesn't. Okay. That's all I got to say.
Okay, bro. All
Billy,
right, yo. This has been PCC, yo, the
you got
greatest
anything?
podcast on
I guess he
earth,
doesn't have
yo.
anything else. We don't have
Nah,
anything else we have to say. It's
Not
been
at
the
all.
PCC pod, Post Credit Clarity pod. Yo, make sure you hit the mailbag, hit the Post Credit Clarity mailbag. It's gonna be in the description. Make sure you follow both of our channels. I just released a YouTube video
He
for the
did, yo.
first time in a long
Bro,
time. You know what I'm saying?
best YouTube video ever,
Oh
yo.
God, it's a good video. I'm trying new things. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing voiceovers instead of like the throwing camera stuff. I'm about to start trying new stuff. So make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to Billy's YouTube. He'll be back on there soon.
I will.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
year.
This year is crazy. Make sure you hit the Post Credit Clarity mailbag. You know what I'm saying? Anything, comments, anything you want to, talk to us about, hit the mailbag. It'll be in the description. Hit the comments below. Make sure to leave a like on this video. And we'll see y'all later, man. Deuces.
Salute.